So hi everyone, and in today's tutorial we're going to learn to do a headstand. And if you're new to headstands or if you're not that confident with practicing, I would definitely recommend doing it against a wall or a door first until you build the strength and the confidence to do it without. So I'm going to do it without the wall today, but you might want to do it next to, and that's absolutely fine. We're not going to need any props, but please listen to the instructions carefully, and if there's anything that feels uncomfortable or painful, then please back off from the practice and just take rest. So we're going to start by coming into tabletop pose. Hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. From here, we're going to sit the bum back down on towards the heels, and we're going to place the forearms down onto the mat. And we can just bring the forearms just slightly in front of the knees. We want to make sure that the forearms are parallel with each other and they're both facing forward. From here, we're going to clasp opposite elbows with the hands, and this is going to be the base, the setup for our headstand pose. So this is the length that we're going to keep, the width that we're going to keep the elbows at. From here, you can release the elbows and you can come to clasp the fingers, and the little fingers are going to be in contact with the earth and the thumbs are going to be pointing upwards, and this is going to kind of be our protection, our barrier for the head. Now when we come onto the head in a few moments, we want to avoid resting on the forehead or the front of the head. We want to avoid the back of the head. We're aiming for the middle, the top and the middle of the head, and that's where we're going to be placing most of our pressure. Okay. The pressure is not just going through the head, okay? We need to protect the neck. The pressure is also going through the elbows and the shoulders, okay? So from here, we find our setup. Little fingers in contact with the earth. The thumbs are pointing upwards. We just walk the knees back slightly and we tuck the toes under. Take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. From here, we're going to place the middle of the head in contact with the earth. And we're going to be just at the front of the middle of the head. So we don't want to be right on the middle of the head so that we kind of tip backwards. But we want to be kind of just at the front of the middle, if that makes sense. So here we are, just placing the middle of the head down. And then we just start to walk the knees just slightly forward. And then we're going to tuck the toes under. And we're going to lift the knees off the floor as if we were coming into a downward facing dog. From here, we're going to slowly just start to walk the feet forwards. And as we do, we start to move onto the middle of the head. And as we move forward with the toes, we eventually start to come up onto the toes. And maybe this is where you stay today, practicing bending one knee and then the other. Or if it feels comfortable for you, you can lift one knee off the floor and you can lift the other knee off the floor. And you can start to bend the knees and raise the knees up into your headstand. And from here you can play around a little bit, maybe bending the knees a bit more, maybe lifting them up slightly, and then eventually pointing the toes. When you feel comfortable, you can come to straighten the legs and start to visualize the tailbone lengthening up towards the sky. Allow the body to wobble a little bit, allow the core and the spine to hold you, to engage, to strengthen, finding your stability. Pointing the toes, take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, you lower one leg slowly and then the other, coming down into child's pose. Release the hands, release the arms. And relax the forehead all the way down to the earth. Take a few moments in child's pose. And then very slowly, when you're ready, coming all the way back up. Feel free to practice that a few times until you start to build some strength in the shoulders, the core, and of course in the spine. So I hope that was helpful, and good luck with practicing with your headstands. Namaste. Thank you.